Hello and welcome. My name is Sarah, and today I'm going to be showing you some more unusual cuts. The chiffonade is a cut that is typically done on leafy greens or herbs. The process of making this cut is taking all of the leafy greens that you want, stacking them together so that they fit nicely, and then rolling them so that they make kind of a cigar shape. So as you can see with everything stacked up, you want to roll as tight as possible just to make sure that nothing falls apart as you slice. And as you slice, you should cut pretty closely together just so you get evenly sized ribbons. And now that your basil is cut up into these little ribbons, we can move on to making a delicious tomato soup. To start, add 5 Roma tomatoes to a blender. I quartered mine just to make it fit in the blender a bit easier. Add a little bit of garlic, and then you're ready to blend. Once it's smooth, you can add it to a pot to simmer, and then add some veggie broth as well, just to give it a bit of bulk. Season it with some salt, black pepper, and red chili flakes. Once it reaches a simmer, you can stir in a little bit of milk, and then add the chiffonade basil. Let that simmer to get that nice basil flavor incorporated, and then it should be ready to eat. This classic soup is rich with tomato and basil flavor, and a nice little kick from the red chili flakes. It is perfect for warming you up on a nice cold day, which is definitely what we need this time of year. The paysanne cut is basically a flat little square, and it measures 1/2 inch by 1/8 of an inch. Like a lot of these cuts, you're going to start by squaring off your vegetable, and you're aiming for a rectangle that is about 1/2 inch in width. And from there, you can start making your 1/8 inch slices along that rectangle. This is a super easy process, and once you're done, you can whip out your ruler, and as you can see, mine aren't perfect, but that is completely fine. This cut is going to be used in a creamy chickpea and orzo casserole. So in a greased baking dish, you're going to pour in all your beautiful cut carrots, and then you're going to add chickpeas, garlic, and 2 spoons of tomato paste. Pour in some coconut milk and then some water, and top with your orzo. At this point, you're going to make sure the tomato paste is broken up and mixed in evenly among everything. Now I wanted to add a little bit more orzo and the seasonings, which is turmeric, cumin, paprika, coriander, and cayenne. And of course, salt and pepper. Mix that all up, and then you're good to throw it in the oven at 350 for about 30 to 40 minutes. This casserole is a delicious balance between sweet from the coconut milk and spicy from all the variety of spices. It is delicious and warm. The veggies are perfectly cooked, and everything comes together really beautifully. The turn cut is what I consider to be the hardest out of all the cuts. It is basically a football shape with 7 even sides. I use a paring knife for these cuts simply because the curve helps make things a little bit easier. So you're going to grip the vegetable in your left hand and then cut with your right hand, or the opposite if you're left-handed. And basically you're just making 7 curved cuts into a football shape. Now, as you'll see here in a second, my turns are not perfect in any sense of the word. All of my shapes are different sizes, but this is one where practice really makes perfect. Now, the zucchini is a little bit different in that you want to keep the green side visible, so you don't want to cut off the green completely. So instead, you kind of make an oval shape and then make the 7 sides underneath the green, basically. So again, as you can see, mine are not perfect, but they are decent enough. The potato is basically the same thing. You're cutting 7 sides to make a football shape. And what I didn't mention before is that when you are holding your vegetable, you don't want to curve your knife, you want to curve the vegetable. So you're moving your left hand, not your right hand. And now, once all your veggies are cut, we can move on to making a delicious meal. To start, we're going to boil some water, and this water is going to be used to blanch our vegetables. While that's boiling, we're going to heat some oil over medium-high heat, and then add some seasoned chicken to that. Once the chicken is nice and golden brown on one side, you can flip it over and then let that cook a little longer, and then finish it off in the oven. At this point, the water should be boiling and you can add your potatoes. While the potatoes are blanching, we're going to make a quick little gravy, so start with adding oil and flour to a pot to make a quick roux, and then stir in some chicken stock. Add your seasonings, which for me was salt, parsley, and lemon juice, which I didn't show here. Stir that up and then move it to the side. Once the potatoes are 80% of the way cooked, you can add them to a hot frying pan just to add a little bit of flavor. And then once the carrots are done cooking as well, you can add them in. And then finally finish with blanching your zucchini and adding them to the hot pan as well. Now this dish is a little more meat and potatoes kind of vibe, but it is still absolutely delicious. The chicken is perfectly cooked once it reaches 165 Fahrenheit. The potatoes and the veggies are perfectly cooked after blanching and pan frying. The gravy is packed full of flavor, and it is a delicious topper to the chicken and the vegetables. Overall, this deceptively simple dish is the perfect addition to your table. Let's finish off with the rondelle, which is basically a 1/2 inch to 1/8 thickness of basically just slicing any round or oval shaped vegetable. It makes these nice little rounds that are typically seen in like salads, sandwiches, stuff like that. I like to use cucumber rondelles to make a deliciously dilly salad. Start with a good amount of Greek yogurt and then add some dill and green onions, and then sprinkle on some garlic powder, salt, black pepper, and a few squirts of lemon juice. Mix that all up and you should basically have your salad ready to go at that point. This salad is so quick to make. It is dilly and garlicky and lemony. It is honestly a really great dish to have in the summer or as any sort of side dish to lighten up something heavy. And that brings us to the end of these unusual cuts. Thank you so much for watching. If you learned something new and you want to keep learning, you can hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, leave a like and make sure to leave a comment below, and I will see you next week.